Okay, great. Now, on the agenda for today, you will hear from speakers who I'll introduce shortly, but you can pretty much see Joe, Kat on the call today. They are currently muted, so you'll hear them later on. And today we'll touch on why you might choose to sell on Amazon and how you can get started, how to best manage your cash flow and accounting, how you can make your overseas payments cheaper and easier, as well as hearing top tips from Kat, who's a current Amazon US seller. Now, at the very end, we will have a Q&A session, so feel free to type any questions that you might have now in the chat function, and we'll answer them at the very end. So who am I? For those who don't know, my name is Frida Kiev. I currently look after the e-commerce desk at World First, and I look after individuals or businesses who are currently selling online. Now, from an international payments perspective, it's really important for you to collect your funds into local currency accounts and achieve great exchange rates in order to protect your tight business margins. Now, I will touch on that later in the webinar, but I do have some amazing speakers joining me today, which will hopefully provide you with a good summary of what's involved in running an Amazon business. Now, from an accounting aspect, we often hear of sellers who are making strong sales, but they might have cash flow issues. You might struggle to restock, especially if you haven't planned things or things haven't gone according to plan. Not everyone has thousands of dollars in the bank. So today we'll be excited to hear about all things accounting from Joanna at BlueRock. And of course, we'll be hearing from an actual Amazon seller, one of our longtime clients, Kat, where she will walk us through how she got started, her challenges along the way, and her top tips for anyone selling on Amazon. So why are we hosting this webinar? Now, at World First, we do see lots of data, especially in the international e-commerce space. We are a global business. We have offices all around the world, and there are e-commerce desks based in all of the countries that we have. And we've seen that during COVID-19 especially, the segment of our business that actually grew was the e-commerce space. So of course there were certainly challenges if you're selling non-essential goods, but the pandemic really highlighted the need for a strong e-commerce strategy. Now, in my time here at World First, I've had the privilege of working with two types of clients. So you might be an existing business and you're looking to expand into new countries and channels. We've got normal everyday people like yourselves who might be entrepreneurial. Some of you were introduced by a friend, or some that just needed the flexibility of working from home, or just working for yourself and being your own boss. So pandemic aside, I've personally seen the power of Amazon, and I think it can change people's lives, especially if it is the right business model for you. So now I'm excited to pass over to Joe from BlueRock, who do lots of great work in this space.
Awesome. Great. Thanks so much, Frida. Just going to share my screen. Okay, so thanks so much for having me today. I'm really excited to be part of the panel. I'll make a start and just explain a little bit about BlueRock first. So we are an entrepreneurial advisory firm. We started in 2008 and we've now grown to have about 170 people in our Melbourne office. And one of the things that we really like is the fact that we have many different divisions. So we really do aim to be pretty much a one-stop shop for business owners. So we've started just as an accounting division, and then found that we were commonly reaching out to the same people over and over to help solve client problems. And we've built the firm by bringing on board and collecting the people that we really like to work with, and putting us all in the one spot. So we do have the accounting division, as I said. We then added on private wealth, a legal firm, finance, digital, which is particularly helpful for today, general insurance, places, bookkeeping division, intelligence, R&D, and self-managed super funds. Amongst our client base is a lot of retail, and in particular we do have clients that use both Amazon and World First, and have had some really great success with that. So with Amazon, it's the world's largest e-commerce retailer, and it allows individuals and businesses to sell and display products for sale online. It also offers software and infrastructure solutions, which is great, especially if you're a new business and are sort of working out how to put these things together yourself. There's about 4,000 items sold per minute, and almost half of these are from small and medium-sized businesses. There's currently more than 2.5 million sellers active in the marketplace. So how does Amazon work? The great thing is that, as I said, the infrastructure and the systems are all good, ready to go, ready for you just to jump in with. So you're starting by having your stock. You receive that stock, post that on the marketplace. It's driven by reviews and advertising. Your customers can then order your products. You've got the option then to either fulfill the order yourself, or using Amazon's warehouses, they can also pack and send that for you. The customer service is always on hand, which is also really helpful as well. It means that you've got some support and your customers do as well. There's a number of reasons why we'd recommend using Amazon and where it can work really well. So one is the reach. The stats vary, but sources have said that over 50% of retail searches start on Amazon in the US. Having that global support, particularly if your product is something that's quite seasonal, and being able to move around the globe can be really beneficial for many of our clients. The logistics is a fabulous part of it as well. Their FBA program, which enables you to stock your products in their warehouses, where they'll pack and send that to clients, makes it really easy, especially when you're dealing with businesses on the other side of the world. The low cost entry is also really helpful. When you compare the retail floor space and the cost of rent, especially at the moment, it often for clients, it's a very big risk and it's a very big commitment to go into a physical store space, whereas Amazon provides a great entry point at a reasonable price that businesses, especially startups, can actually manage. It's a really well resonating brand, and that also, as I said, provides lots of support. So they host a variety of events to educate the sellers. They've got their Amazon Academy, which is packed full of really helpful little videos and tips and tools to help you maximize your time on the site. And it also has Amazon Prime. It's got about 95 million people with Amazon Prime memberships in the US. So it's definitely got a really great global reach. A couple of the things that you should probably consider when you're working out whether Amazon is right for you. Again, it's something that goes both ways. Is Amazon right for you, and is your product right for Amazon? So one thing that we'd recommend is that particularly if your product is highly commoditized, that's perfect for the Amazon environment. As I said, if it's seasonal, also really great, because you can imagine if you're just based in Melbourne like I am and you've got a swimwear shop, you're very limited with your seasons. Whereas if you're able to access clients and that worldwide, it just broadens your horizons so much. The subscription is the next really big consideration. So make sure you've picked up all of the parts that it's composed of, to make sure that you've factored it into your margins. I'm sure Kat will probably touch on this later as well. but making sure that you've got the right pricing and capturing all of your costs is really important. Work out which subscription is actually going to be best for you, and be mindful that this can actually change over time. So your subscription probably shouldn't be a set and forget. You might find that an entry point, one particular subscription works really well for you, but as you grow, you do have the option to change between them, which I think is something that can be really important to consider. And the next part is the integration. So making sure that you streamline your processes, reduce your costs, and by reducing the time spent on your business processing orders, and it also increases accuracy. So at BlueRock, we have a preference for cloud-based technologies. So we really love inventory stock management solutions such as DIA systems and products like that, as they already have established channels to pipe your inventory and stock into Amazon and other channels. So it does a lot of the heavy lifting for you. Having a really clear idea of your stock positions, particularly if you're selling through multiple channels, is really important. Because there's nothing worse from a customer perspective. Log on, buy something, stock says it's available, purchase that, and then an email comes through later going, oh, we're really sorry, we've actually run out of that product. So having a product like DIA can really help you keep on top of that stock management system. For those of you that use more of an ERP system or are managing multiple channels, a product we really like is Cresco Data, which connects your inventory platform to each and every one of the market channels. As the technology evolves, it's great to get a better understanding of the items and optimization, which will also put you ahead of the premium license alone. So like any technology with ranking data and information, it's really important to understand how to play the game and to ensure that you're ranking really highly on the sites. And also note that this evolves over time. I'm sure Kat will also run through some of her go-to tools. So the next part that is a really common area that we deal with is managing your cash flow. So the first part we'll run through, so cash flow challenges and tools to manage this, the importance of budgeting and cash flow preparation, custom management and pricing analysis, appropriate funding options, getting business fit, and some of our top tips. So the biggest thing that anyone has any issues with their business is cash. Cash is king. The biggest challenge in managing your cash flow in your business can often be through a number of issues. The biggest one is your unexpected expenses. So making sure that you've actually set aside part of your margin for your GST and income tax. Unexpected machinery breakdowns, equipment breakdowns, staff termination payments, and the biggest one for Amazon sellers, it's obviously the stock purchases. Making sure that you're meeting your finance commitments and also working out the owner remuneration. So it's really quite common. We'll see people who work through their margins, work through their pricing, that sort of thing, but forget that they actually need to put some aside for them. And then the other big common misconception, so profit does not equal cash flow. So some of the reasons that we would definitely recommend preparing a cash flow and budget is that it gives you really great visibility. Better data gives you better decisions. It also prevents surprises and it allows you to plan. It also makes you much more attractive to financiers and investors. We really like working with our clients having at least a monthly cash flow and a monthly budget. We like catching up and running through these every month. It's really important to look at these things quite regularly. If you're looking at your information regularly, you can pick up on issues really quickly before they turn into a really big problem. And the same way with opportunities, you can make the most of them at the time rather than looking back, say if you're looking at it every 6 months or every 12 months, thinking, oh gosh, I wish I'd done this or I wish I'd changed that then. It would have made things so much better for me. Customer management. So this is particularly important when you're dealing with Amazon, given that it does revolves so heavily around reviews, returning clients, that sort of thing. So happy clients, they'll pay, they'll return to your business, and they'll leave great reviews. So a really important part of that is working out what is your ideal client. If you're trying to serve everyone, you'll end up serving no one. It's really important to identify who is your ideal client and what product it is that you think would be suitable for them. The second really important part of that is your pricing. So making sure that you have appropriate costing. Have you factored in your delivery costs? Have you factored in your storage costs? Have you factored in some profit for all of your blood, sweat and tears that you've been putting into growing your business? So there's a number of different pricing methods that you can use, and some will be more appropriate than others for you. The other part is having really great communication. And this is also one area that Amazon is able to support you, in that there's support for both yourself and the clients within the program. Another question we often get asked is, well, how do I fund or finance my business? There's some big differences between going for borrowing, which is traditionally a debt-based product, as opposed to security, as opposed to an equity type of investment. When we're talking about debt, there's a number of advantages, which includes maintaining control of your business. The loan interest is tax deductible, whereas dividends with equity are not. There's predictability in terms of principal and interest repayments as well. So when you're working through your budget and your cash flow, it's nice and easy to factor in those things. Some of the disadvantages is that it usually requires either security or guarantees, and fixed payments are required to be made regardless of your cash flow. So another option that may be beneficial for you is to look at an equity option. And that would involve someone actually investing in the business in exchange for a share. The advantages of this is that there's no security required, there's less risk, and there's no fixed payments that you're required to be making. The main disadvantages of this one is that you must be willing to share some of the profit. You potentially lose some of the control. There's potential for conflict between business partners. And given that it's you that has been putting in your blood, sweat and tears into building these businesses, it can be really hard to actually let go of some of that, which is why some people may choose to go more down the debt option. So when trying to get your business fit and ready to go, we'd strongly recommend doing a business plan. We traditionally look at these by starting off with a SWOT analysis. So working through your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats, and then placing some action items against each of those. A budget, as I mentioned, gives you really great visibility over your business. It'll also give you a good idea of whether you're pricing things appropriately and what sort of products are going to do well for you. We also recommend prepping management reports, ideally monthly. As I said, if you're looking at the data regularly, it really gives you the opportunity to make the most of the opportunities that are coming along, and also to correct any issues while they're just a small issue, as opposed to snowballing into a large problem. We also recommend touching base regularly with your business advisor, particularly in the times like at the moment where so much is changing in relation to COVID and in relation to the relief packages and that sort of thing, that the help and assistance that is available for you. We also recommend reviewing your structure, so making sure that you've got the appropriate protections in place. From the structure perspective, making sure that you've got asset protection and also that your structure's working in a tax effective manner for you. Insurances are the other one that can also help making sure that you're nice and protected. Obviously, making sure that you're staying up to date with ATO and employer obligations is also another really important point. So our top tips include making sure that you've covered off on your pricing. It's really important to make sure that you've captured everything so that you've got no surprises and that your business is profitable and able to be there for the long term. Client service Happy clients pay, they return, they write rate reviews. Having appropriate finance for your business structure, and that might change over time. Something that's appropriate for you as a startup may be different to once you're a bit more established down the track. Information, reviewing the information regularly enables you to make informed decisions. Make sure that you've got a plan and utilize and regularly review your budget and cash flow forecast. So now I'm going to hand over to Frida to run through making global payments easily.
Awesome, I'm back. Thanks so much, Joanna. It's so important to get your accounting and finance right from the start. It is true what they say, those who fail to plan to fail. So
Absolutely.
I'll just share my screen. Okay, awesome. So now I'll just quickly run through how you can use one platform with WorldFirst so you can save and simplify your international payment process. Now, many of you know who WorldFirst are, but this is a snapshot of who we are and who we support. We help exporters, importers, individuals, and e-commerce businesses, pretty much anyone who needs to ever make a payment or receive money from overseas. So for individuals, you could be sending money to family and friends, paying for your holidays, hotels, hopefully soon, next year maybe. Or you might be receiving an inheritance from overseas. You've purchased a property overseas, not just business transactions. Our World Account is our premier product that supports global Amazon sellers and exporters. And with our World Account, you have one easy to use platform, and we can give you up to 10 free locally based currency accounts located around the globe. So for example, your British pound account is located in the UK, your US dollar account is located in the US, Singapore dollar accounts in Singapore. I'm sure you get the picture. So if you're an exporter or an e-commerce business who's doing global business, you can collect in your local currency, your suppliers can pay you in their local currency, you can hold on to those funds and you can make payments directly from your accounts back into your Australian dollar account, your New Zealand dollar account, wherever you hold your business account as and when you need to. So here we will look at a typical flow of an Australian-based business who's selling on Amazon US. Now there are three key parties in this example. You've got your customers in the US buying off Amazon, your supplier based in China, and your business located in Australia. Now, your supplier might not be located in China, they might be in the US, India, Thailand, Vietnam. We can make payments to wherever your supplier is located around the globe. So in this scenario, you would receive a US dollar account in the United States. We hold it with Citibank that you can plug directly into your Amazon Seller Central account. So all of your sales will go into this account that you can manage within WorldFirst, and then you can use those funds to pay your suppliers, or you can move the funds back into your account in Australia at market-leading exchange rates. There's also greater flexibility, so you can hold the funds for longer and transfer it at times that suit your business. Now, Joe spoke about the importance of best practice accounting. So it was important for us to ensure that the World Account syncs with one of the major accounting software platforms such as Xero. It is just a simple one-time setup. You can sync all of your transactions with your Xero account. You reduce your time spent on accounting. Your accountant will love you. And it applies to all 10 currency accounts that we offer. Okay, finally. So now we can hear it from the horse's mouth with the seller case study. I'd like to welcome Kat, who has been with WorldFirst for many years, one of our longtime clients, and is currently a 7-figure seller on Amazon US. Hello, hello.
Oh, can you hear me?
I can. Now we'll
You can
just...
hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay. So
I'll just get your video enabled. If our helpers on the call can help enable video.
you got me out?
No, maybe we'll just go ahead and...
Just go to the video. Just go to the slides. That's fine. I can check.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
All right, Pat, off you go.
I know we have different types of people on this call, so I just thought I'd just outline how actually Amazon works. So this is the typical question I get asked at a dinner party. How exactly does Amazon work? Because I have been selling on Amazon since 2014. I have an extremely successful business, but that is the main question I get asked. So to give you a bit of an idea, let's just say, Frida, can you jump to the next slide for 1 sec?
Yeah.
Let's just say you had Riddell glasses, right? So you went to the supplier of Riddell glasses and you said to them, I'm going to, well, you just purchase their stock and you sell it on Amazon. So you may have spent a number of, weeks, months, even a year building up, selling this particular item of Riddell glasses. And you have them on page 1 for the keywords that may be, Riddell glasses, wine glasses, crystal glasses, glass set, for a number of different keywords. And this is how Amazon primarily worked. So you would do that. You would start winning the buy box because you're the only person selling Riddell glasses, and people would buy the glasses from you. But of course, another supplier goes to Riddell glasses and buys them wholesale. So instead of selling them at $100, I'm just looking at this amount here, $129.95, they may sell them at a slightly cheaper amount, which means they win the buy box. So this is primarily how Amazon worked. Now, I worked with a group, so you can jump back if you want. Yep. So what I did is I found out about a course back in 2014 that was all about not selling branded products that were owned by other companies. It was about selling your own brand. So instead, I could have made cat glasses. I could have sold my own brand, which basically what it would have meant is I would have created my own brand of glasses. I would have bought them. I mean, if they were glassware, I probably would have bought them from China. I would have created my own brand. I would have got it ranking on Amazon for the right keywords. Champagne glasses, flute glasses, glasses in 12. I'm not sure. I don't sell champagne glasses or wine glasses, but there'd be a number of different keywords. And then I would have them ranking. But the one thing that was different is nobody else can take my buy box because I am the only person selling that particular brand of products. So Amazon works 2 ways. You can sell branded product and you can sell private label product. And the second version I'm talking about is private label product, and that's what I do. So jump ahead to 2 slides.
So how you got started?
Yeah. So in 2014, I did a course on a company that was offering this course. It just came across my desk. It was called the Amazing Selling Machine course. I don't even know if they even do it anymore. But that's what I did. And at that stage, they were teaching you how to do private label. Now, I came from a background of private label. I'm a designer. I worked in advertising for 12 years. I'd sold in supermarkets with my own brand of products for nearly 20 years. So private labeling was absolutely up my alley. So I did this course that basically showed you how to create your own brands and sell them on Amazon. Anything. It could be dog leashes. It could be pots and pans. It could be, I'm just looking around, drink bottles. It could be glasses. It could be anything, but it was creating your own brands so that the buy box could never be stolen by anybody else because it was your own brand. I ended up in the health and beauty category. It wasn't a conscious decision. It was just where I ended up. And, you know, 99% of our products are now currently in the health and beauty category. And I sell on Amazon.com in the US. I have sold a little bit in the UK, but I pulled out. It was just personally for us a waste of time because all our products are manufactured in the US. So we don't make anything in China. We make everything in the US. So effectively what we do is we actually manufacture everything in the US, and we then, so the way Amazon works, for those people that don't understand that, is there is fulfilled by merchant and fulfilled by Amazon. We do fulfilled by Amazon for the simple fact that Amazon has the best shipping rates by far. So there is no way you can ship product to customers at the same rate Amazon can. So we do fulfilled by Amazon. So basically we make product in our factories in the US and we literally just ship it to Amazon. So Amazon actually comes and collects it from our factories in the US. They pick it up and they take it to their factory, their warehouses in the US, and they charge us a warehousing fee. And they actually pick, pack, and distribute our product. So we're not involved in any of that at all. So that is the model that we go with under the Amazon platform. Probably turn to the next slide.
Awesome.
Okay, so these are based on questions that Will first asked me. So basically, I'm just answering questions that they asked me. So who do we follow?
Yeah.
So if anyone was a new person that really wanted to get an idea about Amazon, or you were interested in, you're already on Amazon, but you don't feel that the people, or you're getting much traction, listen to Ben Cummings and, oh, it's Traian Tukar. Anyway, that's the spelling of his name. So Ben Cummings, I think he would have started on Amazon. If I started in 2014, he must have started in 2013. I've met Ben several times. I've done quite a number of his courses. Ben's a smart guy. He's a really, really smart guy. He's an American guy. If you're going to follow anyone, follow him. Traian is a guy that Ben has come across. So Ben has come across a number of different people over the years. So Ben started doing monthly talks, which you subscribe to, and he gave you hints and things of what to do. And let me tell you, they were amazing. For me personally, right now where I am, I still pay for Ben. I can still go in and watch all his talks, because if you unsubscribe to Ben, you can't get back in. So I pay my, I don't know, it's about $200 and something, $300 a month, but I just keep it there. I don't often go in and look at it.
Yeah, so Kate, you're not getting paid to endorse this. This is actually.
Oh no, absolutely not.
Followed
Nothing to do with it. No, nothing at all. No, not at all. But Traian is a guy that Ben has come across who is seriously smart, and he was a rocket scientist and his wife from Romania. Don't laugh, but he is the most amazing coder. And you know what? The trick with Amazon is that some of these guys is there's a lot of black hat. And, Traian knows how to read the back end codes of Amazon and be able to pull data from it. And so, yes, these guys are definitely worth listening to. You can just listen to them on a podcast. So there's a Ben Cummings and Traian podcast. Just listen to them. And then you can decide whether you want to follow them or not. But I have people ask me all the time what to do. These are the 2 tips I would tell them to do. So that's tip number 1. Second one is Helium 10. Again, I use Helium 10. They've got a number of amazing tools. I'm not going to get into all that because that's not what I've been asked to do today. But I believe that if you sign up for the first 3 months, you can watch a guy called Kevin King. Kevin King is smart. He knows what he's doing, and he'll run you through how to start on Amazon. Again, I haven't done all these courses since 2014, so unfortunately, it's not like I'm up to date with what they're doing. But everybody says these guys are all good. Ben Cummings definitely is. Traian's fabulous. I know those guys. Helium 10, I use their tools all the time. But again, these are just things for people who are starting out. get an idea, start to listen about what's going on, get a bit of an understanding about what these guys are talking about, and it'll give you a bit of an idea about how Amazon actually really works.
Awesome. Thank you, Kat.
Next slide.
And what would you say is the average week for a global seller such as yourself?
Okay, this is an interesting question. Okay, first of all, Amazon is 24/7, 7 days a week. So when I go overseas, I have to be confident that I can actually log on to Amazon wherever I am. So like I did an African safari with my father and one of my kids, and I had to be confident that wherever I was, I could log on to Amazon 24/7 because it is a 24/7 business. So just to give you an idea, I get up, so I'm Melbourne based, obviously, but I get up at 5:30 every single morning. And that pretty much includes most weekends, I think, because my time clock is just set to that. And there's a whole series of different things I do. But the first thing I do is I check my feedback. Always check my feedback to make sure that I don't have any negative feedback. And if there's some negative feedback, which can sometimes be like, oh, I don't like a product, then I delete that. I go into Amazon and I delete it. The second thing I do is every day I check my sales without fail. I have a special little black diary where I record every single sale for every single item, because what that does is it allows you to see, oh my gosh, why did that item suddenly go from selling 100 units to 10? Okay, something's not right here. So it allows you to pick something up straight away, instantaneously. I have done that since 2014. The next thing I do is I go to buy messages. So Amazon requires you to respond to buyers within 24 hours. And if you don't, I call it to the girls in my office a black mark against your name. So first thing when I'm up in the morning is I respond to buyer messages. They respond to them through the rest of the day, but always respond to buyer messages. Because remember, their messages are in US time zone, not in our time zone. So we could be going, oh, I sent a message to the person that supplied me with this product at 9 a.m. I haven't heard from them. Well, of course, that's because we're in Australia and I haven't woken up yet. So that's one of the other things we do. And then, of course, I'm on emails because all my products are manufactured in the US. So I'm on emails with all my manufacturing companies and my suppliers and everything every morning. So that takes up pretty much my morning until 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, depending which time zones. And are we in daylight savings? Sometimes that's later, but yes, that's pretty much what I do. And then Mondays is always my production day. So Mondays we get information. So I have a girl in the Philippines who provides us with information of the last week's sales. So we put that into a spreadsheet, and that spreadsheet, it's a very old-fashioned way of doing it, but it is a beautiful little spreadsheet that just puts in what the sales were for the last week and what we predict the sales are going to be moving forward. So if we put into the spreadsheet for a particular product that the sales were 100 units, and then I sort of have a glance and I go, okay, well, we've put in 100 units, but for the last week before that it was 100 and 100, but our predictions only had 70. Well, I better change that because I can see that this product is selling better. So now I have to change that the next 8 or 10 weeks, it's going to be 100, 100, 100 in units, because the last 3 weeks have been 100, 104, 108 units. So I have to change that. And then I have to look and go, right, well, that particular factory for that particular product requires 8 weeks lead time. Have we got new stock coming in? Because if we don't, we're in a lot of trouble. So Amazon can change on a dime. You can be selling 100 units a week for a particular product, and suddenly for sometimes you don't even know the reason why, suddenly it's doing 120, 130 units a week. Once you put that over 2 or 3 weeks and it keeps doing that, you can run out of stock very, very quickly. So you need to constantly be reassessing where you are with your stock levels, because you can't just send stock into Amazon and expect it to be there the next day. I have seen stock go into Amazon that Amazon have picked up and it's been there in a week. I've seen Amazon pick stock up out of our factory and it's taken 4 weeks to get there. So
Even more so now.
Oh, now, yes. particularly with COVID. Absolutely. So I've seen some of our products with COVID come in the space of, they'll pick it up and it's literally there within 10 days. And then I've seen other products and it's like 2, 3, 4 weeks, hasn't even been checked in yet. And it's a product that's a COVID product. It's a product that people want. So yes, that's the sort of thing you have to be really onto about production. So we just have a very simple spreadsheet that I used in all my other businesses prior to Amazon, and it served me very well. Tuesday's payment day. I mean, I'm just using a general, there's a lot of other things that come into this, but I had to sort of generalize it. Payments. This is all my international TTs. So this is paying all my US suppliers for all the different components that make up our products. So we have contract manufacturers that fill our products, but then we need to buy all the other components, the bottles, the lids, the leaflets, the chipboards, the shippers, all the other things. So that tends to be Tuesdays. Wednesdays are account days. So that's when my accountant comes in. So I've got a bookkeeper that's been working with me for 22 years on all my businesses that I own. So she's been working with us for 22 years. So she comes in and does the accounts. So with Amazon, I use Managed by Stats. The Managed by Stats provides a really good detail. So you've got to remember one thing, Amazon pays you every 2 weeks. Amazing. Tell me a business that pays you every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I've dealt in supermarkets for 20 years prior. There is no business that pays you every 2 weeks. It's amazing to get paid every 2 weeks. So we have a system with Managed by Stats where we've created an Excel, which we extract certain information from the data that we get. And basically, it's a very basic amount of information. We want to know how many units we sold and for what price we're getting it in a conversion rate. So if we sold 100 units of product A and 80 units of product B, and they paid us, I don't know, $2,000 US and $1,500 US for those particular products, and we have converted it using World First and an exchange rate of, well, at the moment, probably it's 0.65. What does that equal? What does that put it? And then from that, we extract that information for that payment for that 2 weeks, and we put that into, we use MyOb, and we put that into MyOb, so that we're able to work out exactly what those units cost us and what we've actually received in sales for them based on the exchange rate. So that's what we do on Wednesdays. On Thursdays, we tend to do PPCs, which is when you're on Amazon, you'll see sponsored ads. Sponsored ads is a great way to drive traffic to your product. So you'll see them pop up little sponsored ads for certain products, and customers will click on them and you're charged by that for Amazon. So that is a real art to learn how to do that, because you can get really ripped off. So we have spent years working out how to run our PPCs. And I would recommend to anyone, understand it, learn it, listen to, Ben talks about it a lot. Listen to them, work out what to do it yourself. And then we have subsequently used a group called Telemetrics, who we use their technology to automate parts of it, but we still go in every week and adjust it ourselves.
Yeah, there's a whole science behind it, all the data analytics. It's crazy.
That's a whole webinar on itself.
Yeah, yeah.
It is. It's a whole webinar on itself. We actually work directly with Amazon, so we actually have an assigned, because we're such a big account, we have an assigned PPC expert that works with us that's based in Seattle, that we talk to every 2 weeks. So we do that, but you know, that's when you're at the level we're at. Friday's idea days. I mean, it isn't always idea days, but you know, ideas, things to look at, just different things. I try to leave Friday for a free thinking day. And Saturdays and Sundays, we still have to do what I just said at the beginning, you know, feedback, sales, buyer messages, emails on Saturday, because it's still Friday in the US for us. So it never stops, an average week on Amazon. So it is a full-time, I mean, my average day would be 5 till 3 o'clock. And I tell you, by 3 o'clock, I'm burnt out. So that would be my average day, 5 a.m. to 3 o'clock. And I'm telling you, I'm not one for lunch. So I'm pretty much going the whole time, and so are the rest of the team. So it is busy. These seem, you know, in terms of the way we've described it, it doesn't seem like a lot, but
Yeah.
it's busy, and it's not because we're not, well, you know, just accounts. One thing with accounts, you have to do state sales tax. Luckily with Amazon, they've pretty much taken most of that over. But that was a big ordeal for us. We had to pay state sales tax for every state that Amazon sold into, but they've pretty much taken most of that over.
Okay.
I think that's probably it for that slide. Freda, do you have any questions to ask?
Why did you choose World First, or what made you come to World
Okay,
First?
so that was an interesting. I didn't know about World First. So basically, what happened to me is Amazon pays you every 2 weeks. Fabulous, great for cash flow. No reasons to not be on top of your cash flow when you're paid every 2 weeks. But Amazon was paying us into our Australian bank account, and they were taking basically a 4% clip. I call it a 4% clip. So let's just say that the exchange rate was, well, today's exchange rate is 65 for the Aussie to the US, just as a rough average. They were converting it at 69. Oh, that's a lot of money when you're doing the sort of volume that we're doing. So I got told about World First, and the rates were like phenomenal. Just I would have saved myself. I remember walking into my father and saying, Dad, I'm just signing up with World First, and based on last year, I think I just saved myself 200 grand.
Yeah.
In conversion rates. And he went, oh, that's good. Good on you. And I went, yep. And nothing to do with, my father's a lawyer. Nothing, he doesn't have anything to do with my business. So yeah, so definitely, absolutely worth it, 100%. But what's even more important is, so, and I wish I'd done this more, Freda, when, God bless it, when the rates went down to, did they go as low as 56? They were as low as 56, weren't they? Right.
Yeah, 55, and I think we got one of the trades.
I should have pre-bought, which you can buy. I should have pre-bought right out till now, and I didn't. So I could have pre-bought money. I mean, obviously you have to give World First some money to do it. You can't just go, well, I'm just going to pre-buy out for the next 4 months at that rate, because they need to take a some hedging against you. But yes, I did it for a little bit. I should have done it for more. But you know what? That crystal ball, we don't all have that crystal ball. But yes, that's one of the great things with World First. You can do that.
Exactly. So for everyone else, what Kat is talking about is called a forward exchange contract. What that is locking in a rate for the future. So for example, you know you're getting an Amazon shipment of, let's just say, for example, say $10,000 in 2 weeks' time. You can go ahead and lock that rate in today and settle in 2 weeks' time. In Kat's situation, she was booking out a month in advance because she does have that constant flow. She knows how much she's guaranteed. So she'll only book in the 110% guaranteed amount, and then she'll book in the extra sales added on top when she has the final figures every fortnight.
Yeah, so to give you a bit of an idea, what Fred is saying there is, I know based on my business roughly what I'm going to earn, except outside of COVID, which went absolutely crazy. It's been like Black Friday every day. I would know what I was actually going to be earning. So I could say, right, well, I pretty much know I'm going to be earning X amount in the next 2 cycles of payments. So the next 2 weeks and the next 2 weeks after that. So Freda, book me in this amount of money, and I'll call you when I know exactly what they're paying us, and we'll just make up the difference on the spot rate for the day. So at least I leveraged it. I should have leveraged it at 56.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, we all don't have a crystal ball.
We don't.
Yeah. Um,
Where are we at for the next slide? Oh, challenge.
So what would be your most challenging aspects of selling on Amazon?
Okay, so this is the question I was asked, and I was trying to think for you guys who are new sellers onto this, what would be a challenge? Obviously, finding the right products with a high volume. So I am, so many girlfriends come to me, oh, why don't we do this product? It's seaweed and it's yada yada and it's infused with deer horn and all this. And I go, oh, that's great. But you know what? Nobody's going to search for that on Amazon. Nobody knows what that product is. It's a little idea and maybe it's doing well. So you need to find products that have high search volume and preferably products that have repeat purchase, because if someone's only buying it once, they're only buying it once. If they buy a video screen from you that they can stick in their backyard to show the kids the latest Shrek movie, that's a one-off purchase. They're probably not going to buy it again unless something happens to it and it breaks. So I personally, coming from where I have in my previous life, I like to buy products that have repeat purchases. So that's probably a difficult issue for you guys to find. Again, I go with a lot of my gut instinct. It isn't always right, but it has been probably 70% right for me. So, but I've been in this game of doing private label and selling and doing my own products for 20, 25 years. So I have a sort of bit of a gut feeling about certain things. So Ben Cummings can give you a lot of ideas, and I think Kevin King, I've never listened to his podcast, but lots of people tell me it's good about how to find the right products. I'm sure they'll give you a few ideas. Next thing is getting the product ranked for the right keywords. This is imperative. Do not think you can just put a product on Amazon and it will rank. No. That doesn't happen that way. Just doesn't happen. You go and put, let's say it's those glasses I showed you, those Riddell glasses. You need to rank for the right keywords, but everybody else is already ahead of you. So there are a lot of strategies about how to rank for keywords. Again, this is not the forum to go into it. That's a completely separate discussion. That is an hour in itself. But, you have to rank for the right keywords to get your product on page 1, because there are probably 20 products on page 1. And then there's page 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, up to 100, maybe 200. And when you first put your product on Amazon, it's on page 200. So how do you get it to page 1? This is why you need to listen to guys like Kevin King and Ben Cummings to understand how that works. Again, that's a whole nother way to do it. It can definitely be done. I do it all the time, but that's the sort of thing you need to do. Competition, there's a lot of competition out there. So you can have a number 1 ranking product. I personally don't find this a lot with my products because they've been around for a long time. But I do have friends who have products, and then suddenly there's so many other people jumping on because it's the it product. I don't believe in the it product, so I'm not one to follow the fashion fad. But there are a lot of people who will jump on a product and they'll be the it product, but then everyone else is on that it product, and suddenly they can't rank for it anymore because everybody else is ranking for it and they get knocked off. So that's another challenge. Listing issues. Amazon works on the theory that you are wrong and they are always right. So you are constantly, you'll have products on Amazon that suddenly get delisted, or there's a block on them, or they change things, and you have to prove to Amazon why that shouldn't have happened. It's terribly frustrating, but over the years, you just learn to deal with it. And you just have a little tantrum at your desk, and then you just use all the skills you've learned over the years to work out how you're going to challenge this particular issue that you've faced and how you're going to deal with it on them. And then maintaining stock levels. Like I said before, you can have a product that's selling 100 units a week for 3 weeks, and then suddenly it jumps. Okay, so we had a classic example. We had a product that a very famous influencer in the US, one of the Kardashians, posted that they loved using our product. We didn't sell it to them. We didn't send it to them. We did
purely by chance.
Sorry?
It was purely by chance.
Oh,
crazy.
purely by chance. And suddenly we were sold out in 3 days. So then maintaining stock issues became a big problem because this, particular product was getting like 14 million hits. So, that was just by chance. So maintaining stock levels goes back to what we do every Monday. Constantly keeping on top of our stock levels, creating a spreadsheet, doing a prediction forward, knowing exactly when our suppliers can supply us, knowing their lead times, knowing how long it takes to Amazon. So supplier can supply you on week 8, but you know that to get it to Amazon will take 3 to 4 weeks. So that's really 12 weeks. So you need to factor all those things in. So they're the sorts of challenges you can come up against on Amazon.
Okay, cool. So what are your 3 top tips for everyone listening
I always hate these questions.
in?
It's really interesting. I have a friend actually listening tonight. He is a best family friend. I've known. He's been one of my brother's best mates. I've known him since he was in year 10. So I'm very old now. It's not easy. He said to me the other day, Kat, he's doing it at the moment. He said it's like a uni degree, and he's a really smart guy. Seriously smart guy. And I thought that was a really good analogy. It really is like a uni degree. This is not just something you're going to do as a hobby. You've really got to understand it. There's a lot of people out there. And, Frida has put me up here, and I'm not blowing my own trumpet because I'm not selling anything. I'm not here to sell anything. I'm not here to do any courses.
Yeah,
that's not my gig. I'm not about to do a course that you're all going to do. You're never going to hear from me again. But I know what I'm doing, and I know Frida knows the amount of money I turn over each month or every 2 weeks on Amazon, and it is really difficult, and you really need to follow the right people. And I think these 2 people I've given you as a tip are definitely worth following. Nothing to do with me, just follow them. It's purely me giving back to the Aussies, but it is difficult. But once you crack it, and you know how to do it, it is one of the most amazing businesses I have ever done. I will say that, but it is a constant. It never stops. I never, ever stop working on Amazon. My husband gets up at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, walks out and goes, so how's your day been? I'm like, oh, yeah. And I've already been going since 5 a.m. So it is a business that's amazing, but you've really got to work at it. Spread your risk across a range of products.
Yeah,
Go, Freda. Yeah, go.
And especially during recent times, it's just crazy how you've grown. What is it, 150%?
I don't know. You banked all my money. I have no idea, but yes, it's been crazy. I've basically, as I said before, for me personally, it's been like Black Friday every single day since March, up until May, and we're still at it. And it would even be more Black Friday today if I hadn't run out of so many units, so many products, which I have just physically run out of because the demand has been like tenfold. And the factories just cannot keep up. But you know what? I'm not about to complain. It's still, even today is way beyond a normal day on Amazon. So, I'm not about to be greedy. I'm just very lucky I had the right products at the right time, and never ever would I have thought that COVID would happen, nor would any of us. Spread your risk across a range of products. Do not rely on 1 or 2 products. Spread your risk, spread it across a range of products, build them up. That's just a basic, simple, don't put your eggs in one basket, That's just a basic tip of business. My biggest thing, which my friend who is my brother's best friend will be listening to right now, is don't sell crap. I can't stand it. I'm a designer by trade. I have worked in the top advertising agencies across Australia. I've won numerous awards. I don't design crap. I have sold brands that are renowned. I don't sell crap. I've created brands that are renowned. Do not sell crap. Don't design stuff. Just do stuff that you're proud of. Do stuff that you would bring to a dinner party and say to a friend, I'd like to give you this as a gift. And they go, oh, wow, thank you very much. I like that. don't sell crap, because there's so many people selling crap on Amazon. I'm sorry, but there is so many people selling crap. Sell beautifully designed products. You know what? Even if it's only the printing, that's the difference. You can print 4 colors. Everything is a 4-color print job. At least make the 4-color print job a beautifully designed print job instead of a piece of crap. I'm sorry, but just because I'm a designer, by nature, I just can't sell anything that is not beautifully designed. So that would be my tip, and I think it served me very well in my business. Where are we at, Freda?
It definitely has. And your number 1 tip before we jump into the questions?
Oh, this is not a hobby. You need to be a problem solver. Oh my gosh, you need to be a problem solver, and you need to have a backbone, man. And this is not a joke. My husband often at 6:30 in the morning goes, "So what have your dramas been on Amazon this morning?" I think, oh God, they can be never ending, and not just Amazon. So I have expanded into selling into bricks and mortar in the US, because bricks and mortar companies have discovered my products on Amazon, have come to me and asked me to sell to them in bricks and mortar. So I have a fairly large business, not just in Amazon, but in bricks and mortar. So to give you a couple of little ideas, here is a little few things that I've had to think outside the square on. So one of the companies that I deal with in the US, Macy's, only pays by check. Right, only pays by check. Now, I have a Shopmate account in Australia that I have in the US, like a little Shopmate account, where I can get products for the kids if they want to buy them, or I can get samples of products sent to my Shopmate account, which is, I don't know, somewhere in Utah that they gave me a PO box for, and I can get that shipped to me here in Australia. Macy's required me to have a US address that they could send checks to. No problems. They can send them to my Shopmate account. It's in my company name. Oh no. 3 o'clock one morning, for some unknown reason, I wake up thinking about this particular issue, don't even know why, which is a normal thing for me, and suddenly ring Shopmate and contact them and send them an email. No, they don't accept checks. Checks cannot be mailed through Shopmate. So I had to find a third party that I could have a PO box for in the US that would ship checks to Australia for me to get cleared for Macy's. Crazy, but that's a typical problem. I'm just looking at some other problems I had. I had one of my large companies in the US decide that they were going to change during COVID the terms of the agreement. So they asked me to supply them with a particular product during COVID, which was going to be paid in 30 days. But then during the production of the problem, they said, "Oh, I'm sorry, we're not now paying for 120 days. Oh, actually, it was Macy's. And had to get the check. So basically, I wasn't going to be paid for 6 months. So we had a little bit of a meeting within the office and said, nah, we're not going to deal with that. So I had to find another place to sell these products for. So we had to really think outside the square, because we produced all these products for Macy's who weren't going to pay us for effectively 6 months. So that was not something that we were feeling very keen about.
Yeah. So it takes a lot to be a 7-figure seller. It's not easy. I just shake my head when I see, you see an ad or you see a YouTube video. Oh, you can sell on Amazon, you make millions of dollars, or sell on Shopify. It's not easy. You have to put the work in to actually make money.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
Mm-hmm. So now I'll just jump into a few questions that we have. So we have from Anita. Kat, do you have any tips on choosing a seller name on Amazon if you're starting new for the first time? Is that important?
Anita, you're going to laugh at this. I was asked to do some ideas for toilet paper. So I was approached by a company to come up with fabulous ideas for toilet paper. If you can believe, I remember going into this project thinking, oh my gosh, how could we do like new designs for toilet paper? Man, we came up with ideas for toilet paper that would have been sold in Country Road. They never went with it, but one of the company names that we came up with that never got used for the toilet paper is what I use for my company name, purely because I like the graphic way it was presented. So there you go.
So
what does Amazon mean? It's a river. So what does Nike mean? It's a god. So I'm not big on names.
Mm-hmm. And do you recommend Amazon fulfillment from the country of the manufacturer and then to distribute to overseas sellers or overseas buyers?
Oh, so I recommend Amazon fulfilled by fulfilled by Amazon every time. So I only manufacture in the US, so I send my product direct to their fulfillment houses, and then they distribute it onto all the other fulfillment houses, and then they fulfill customers' orders.
Mm-hmm.
If you were bringing it in from China, as a classic example, you would need to find out, you need to find a fulfillment house, as in a third party, that will receive those goods for you into China, from China into the US, and then they will then do the shipping out to the Amazon fulfillment houses. I think that's how it works. Please don't quote me on that, because I don't buy anything from China at all.
Yeah.
I don't deal with them at all. But from what my friends tell me, that's, I think, basically what they do. But please don't quote me on that.
Was that a personal choice that you just personally wanted to?
Well, everything I do is in health and beauty category, and ain't buying anything from China.
That is fair. That is fair. So it does depend on what category you are selling in, and sometimes it might be cost effective for you to go to China, but in Kat's case, she did choose the US. And I have another question here. From Anonymous, Kat, I'm halfway doing Ben Cummings' private labeling course, but now have the opportunity to sell a friend's product for her online. She's wholesaling a product. I was going to sell it on Amazon Australia. She has TGA approval and trademark for Australia. I was planning on finishing the course and then launching her product first. I will go back to private label later. Do you have any advice?
Okay, so TGA, so that's an interesting product, because that always flows up a few things. In my previous life, I had products in TGA. So, well, just give it a go. I mean, what have you got to lose? You've got nothing to lose. Yeah, but you've got to make a deal with her as how you're going to sell it. But yeah, just let me tell you, Amazon Australia, please, I'm sorry, Amazon Australia, it ain't really got much traffic. I have some products there, and really, or maybe selling, 2 or 3 units a day, where I'm selling, 1,000 units a day in the US. So, you're not going to see a huge amount. Just continue on both parts. Don't divide it. Just do your Amazon Australia and do that with your friend's product and help her, and you two work out a deal, and then continue to do a US. But yeah, you're following Ben. Ben's a smart cookie. So again, I'm not promoting Ben in terms of, there's nothing, he wouldn't even know I was doing this talk. But he is a smart cookie. So I would just do both and create your own products for the US and do that. Or maybe even, well, if her products are TGA, then you're already putting up a couple of flags. So whether they're FDA, that's a whole nother thing. So it's not like it's just a basic product like, a dog leash or something like that. So you're going to have a few issues anyway with a TGA product going to the US with an FDA. So you'll be aware of that, because I'm very aware of all those types of products. Yeah, I do both. Just do both.
Okay, so Kat, you are selling on Amazon Australia currently?
Yes, just because I had a little bit of stock here, and they actually rang me up and begged me to sell on it, and I'm like, okay. So I put a little bit of stock there, but I'll tell you what, it would get 0.5% of an entire 100% of our time, because I don't mean to be rude, it just doesn't generate anything. So why am I going to spend time there when the US and everything we do in the US is 100% of our time? So
so I have a question from Ken. Once I find and source a product, how much should I budget to market, rank, and build a presence so my product makes it to page 1?
Oh, well, Kenny, that is a good question, because I bet that's my friend Kenny. You know what, Kenny, it all depends on the actual product. Let's say, oh gosh, that's such a hard question. I always bet on if I order 1,000 units, I'm going to have to give away 500. So I work on that. I work on ordering 1,000 units of something and giving away 500 and completely giving them away. So I'm going to lose on 500 because once I start to rank for it, then I should start to rank. But if you're in which is an area you wouldn't want to be in, which is not what I'm in, but I'm just thinking of just because I went and bought my son some AirPods. But, I walked into JV Hi-Fi today and there were 5 people in front of me and 4 bought AirPods. So obviously it's a popular product. So something like that, you may have to give away 2,000 or 3,000 units. It all depends on your competition. But personally for me, I always work on, I'll get 1,000 of something made and I'm going to have to probably give away 500 to rank it. For enough keywords that then I'll be able to rank it and then I'll be able to generate my own organic sales.
Okay. Cool. There is a question from Ben. Can I use the World First account in the US to sell products at expos shows in the US using Square Readers? Unfortunately, Ben, it's purely a bank-to-bank transfer. So at this stage, we can only facilitate your transfers within a bank account. So money collected from the US in that account, you can pay it into another bank account. So not using Square Readers at this time. Joe, what are the most popular business structures for an Amazon seller starting out with the US?
Yeah. So you're starting out, you generally want to keep things nice and simple. However, you also want to manage your risk, and each different type of structure has different components to each of them. Operating as a sole trader, yes, it's nice and simple. It's obviously it doesn't cost anything to set up, but it also comes with a lot of risk given that you've got your personal liability as part of it. A company also offers really nice protection. It's limited by the company. So potentially a company is what you'd be looking at. But again, it's sort of a cost benefit between if you're just starting out and want to test it out, as opposed to something maybe a bit more established.
Cool. And another one for Kat from Ben. What are the best ways to find gaps or opportunities in a market on Amazon?
Oh. I'm sorry, I just do not have the question. That is the crystal ball. If I had the answer to say, oh yes, why don't you do this product, and this product, I'd be doing it. It's just not that simple. I started this in 2014. I lucked onto a gem and it just went from there. But honestly, there's a bit of luck. There is just, I after all these years, I just could not tell you how to actually find that right product. It is a very flooded market. You just need to offer something different and be unique to stand out in that market. But again, listen to Ben and listen to Kevin King. They talk about these things. I don't follow it. I don't do it. I have products that I've been doing for a long time and then I'll find something new and it's just a gut feel. And 9 times out of 10, it's right. But I just could not give you the exact answer to that because there's just too many products, but they're all pretty flooded. And I believe in finding products that have high search volumes. But then again, I've got products with high search volumes that have been around for a long time. So
yeah. And I've got a question from Margaret. Do you advertise outside of Amazon PPC?
Do you know what, Margaret? I didn't, but Facebook is so cheap at the moment because no one's advertising on it. Oh, that's really not, I shouldn't laugh about that because that is a sad, it's a whole other story, which I do feel very sad from because I am from the land of advertising. But yeah, I am doing a lot of Facebook at the moment. I've got my PR agency that's actually based in Melbourne, one of my besties, She has a PR company and she does advertising for me. But on Facebook in the US, there are huge opportunities at the moment. So what would normally have cost you maybe, I don't know, $1, $2, I'm getting, you know, those clicks for 21 cents because the major advertisers are all pulled out. So yes, I am actually doing Facebook for the first time since March this year because the rates are so cheap. So I'm taking the advantage of doing that. But generally, I do all my advertising on the Amazon platform, on the PPC platform. But yes, I am using Facebook at the moment.
Cool. And we just have